All right, see you. Thank you. Now we have breaking information on that Cleveland apartment building explosion that rocked a block of East 139th in Kinsman last night. Body of an elderly woman was recovered. 2 firefighters were also hurt. First responders and city leaders are calling it a tragedy. So what's to blame for the explosion? We can tell you that a car slammed into the building just before the explosion. Stephen Hernandez with the very latest.
Or just to know where the street come from, to see it, kind of going down the way it's going down now is really a real shame.
The damage couldn't be more striking. A Mount Pleasant neighborhood forced to pick up the pieces after a devastating crash and explosion left 1 person dead. The medical examiner's office identified the victim as 69-year-old April Yarbrough. Her body wasn't pulled from the rubble until this morning.
We're on the scene here of a tragedy, unfortunately.
Cleveland Fire Lieutenant Mike Norman says first responders were called out to this building on East 139th Street just before 8 p.m. last night. The car struck the side of the building and launched itself into a neighboring home. The driver and passenger of that car fled the scene, and just minutes later, the apartment burst into flames. Neighbors are still struggling to wrap their heads around it.
Why? What was the point?
The crash is still under investigation, but Councilwoman Deborah Gray explains that this building housed people in desperate need.
It was a temporary home for them until they got on their feet. It's devastating to see this type of resource building that was able to give so much and care for the residents who needed that space.
It's clear it'll take a long time to fix what's been broken here overnight, but it'll possibly be an even longer road to recovery for everyone that's been affected personally.
We need to just be here for each other, so we take one day at a time.
In Cleveland's Mount Pleasant neighborhood, Stephen Hernandez, 19 News.
Tracking